Now, children, as I have given you homework, isn't it? Which chapter?
Chapter number 2.
Microorganism, friends and foes.
Chapter number 2.
Microorganism, friends and foes.
Microorganisms, friends and foes. Frankly speaking, how many of you have gone through it? Did you all go through the chapter?
Yes,
Whose
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
on is muted. माइक थोड़ा म्यूट कर लीजिए बेटा, कहीं से आपकी आवाज आ रही है. जस्ट म्यूट योर माइक. Okay, very good. Children, as you are seeing that we are going through this pandemic, now the cases have started increasing. So most of the time we are in this virtual class only nowadays. So the responsibility increases on your side. Those who are there at home, you all are there. So you will spend maximum time in practicing. That is why we had completed your syllabus well before, so that you can learn, you can get sufficient time for learning. So let us have this discussion test, oral test type, and one by one, don't mingle up your voices, so that all can have the answer clearly. One by one, when I will call the name, please don't leave the class. If you don't know, you say, ma'am, I am not able to answer, or I don't know, I will study. Okay? But don't leave the class. Discussion should be there so that you can learn by listening also. Now, Alok, you tell me, what is microbiology?
The study of microorganisms are known as microbiology.
Yes. Microorganisms, what are these microorganisms?
Microorganisms are such organisms which are not able to see with our naked eyes. They can only see with the use of microscope.
Yes, very good. They can only be seen with the help of microscope. Now tell me, Ananya, that
Yes, ma'am.
who discovered this microscope, or who first gave the existence of bacteria?
Anthony van Leeuwenhoek was the first person who discovered the existence of bacteria.
And it was with the discovery of which of the invention?
Microscope.
Yes, microscope. Yes. Now, how many types of microorganisms are there? Athar?
Ma'am, there are 4 types of microorganisms: bacteria, fungi, protozoans, and algae.
4 types.
And one different type is virus.
The other one, apart from these 4, is your virus also.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Athar, can you give me the examples?
Yes, ma'am. The example of bacteria is Vibrio cholera, and fungi is yeast, and from the example of protozoans is amoeba and euglena, and algae is chlorella.
Okay. Now, Riya Kumari,
Yes,
are you there, Riya?
Yes, ma'am.
Riya, you tell me that why are viruses considered to be unique?
Viruses are unique because they can exhibit the characteristics of both living and non-living organisms. When they are floating in air or settled on a doorknob, they are non-living things. In fact, they can be crystallized and stored in jars for years. However, when they come in contact with a suitable plant, animal, or bacteria, they show the characteristics of living organisms. They infect the cell quickly and multiply inside it. Viruses are therefore unique.
Okay. And 2 questions are there in this. Why are viruses unique? and why it is considered to be at a borderline between living and non-living. So the answer will be same. Okay. Question might be different, but the answer will be same. Now, Sarah,
Yes,
other
ma'am.
section students also have joined. H,
Yes, ma'am.
EH also? Yes, they are there. Okay. Now, Sarah, you tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Where can we find microorganisms?
Ma'am, microorganisms can be found in all kinds of environment, in icy cold water, in hot spring, in dry, marshy or saline areas.
Can you give me one example of this different environmental condition in which the microorganism can survive? One examples of each.
Ma'am, I didn't understand the question.
You just tell me one example that which type of microorganism or what if it is surviving in extreme hot climate, then what it is called, or if it is surviving in cold climate, then what it is called.
Ma'am, hypoliths live inside rocks in cold deserts.
Hypothermophils can survive in cold.
No, ma'am.
No, it is.
Hypoliths is can survive in cold desert areas.
Hypoliths can survive in cold desert areas. And what about the extreme condition of this temperature, that is 80 to 120? What is that term known as?
Hyperthermophilus. Hypothermophiles.
And what is that term known as, in which the microorganism is found in between 15 degrees centigrade? It is cryophiles. So children, please go through this. Do you know also? Some twisted questions might come from that part also. Okay? Then next one is Ronit. Ronit,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
are
ma'am.
you there?
Yes, ma'am.
You tell me two examples how microorganisms serve as friends.
Because they are used to making food like curd, cheese. They are used in for making wine, alcoholic beverages. They are used for treatment of sewage.
Okay. Now tell me, Shalin Sambhav,
Yes, ma'am.
you tell me what are effluents? Shalin, are you there, Shalin?
Yes, ma'am.
You tell me what are effluent?
Bacteria which are used in biological treatment is known as effluent.
And what is that process known as?
This process is known as bioaugmentation.
Children, this is also a very important question of this chapter. Please learn this term. Next, Priyanshu Rajab, 80. Define antibiotics. Priyanshu, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you tell me what are antibiotics.
Antibiotics are those chemicals which are produced by the help of microorganisms. Antibiotics
Once
are
again,
those.
I didn't get.
Antibiotics are the chemicals which are produced by the help of microorganisms that inhibit the growth of harmful microorganisms by affecting their life processes.
Yes, correct. Can you name two antibiotics? Name two antibiotics.
Penicillin and
Follow?
streptomycin.
Name the microorganism by which penicillium notatum can be made. Anurag.
Ma'am, from fungus.
Okay. It is obtained from fungus. Are there any bacteria
Fungus.
also which produce this antibiotic? Anurag, I am asking you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, correct. Chaliye, what
Streptomycin,
are
tetracycline.
antibodies? Now, after that, Navya, what
Yes,
are
ma'am.
antibodies?
Proteins produced by the special kind of blood cells to identify and destroy microbes like viruses, bacteria, etc.
Okay. Then next one is Adya. Adya Anandi, 8H. Are you there, Adya? What I said, when I ask question, don't leave the class. Adya, you have joined the class, but you are not answering. Abhijit. Abhijit. You are not here to keep silence, children. Response that you know or you don't know. Abhinav. Abhinav. What has happened to G section and H section? Aditya Narayan. Aditya.
Yes, ma'am.
Aditya, you tell me what is immunity?
क्योंकि ये अप्रूव नहीं की थी मैम.
Pardon?
Ma'am,
Who is telling?
may
What
I
is your
answer?
problem? Aditya Narayan, immunity, define immunity.
Yes, ma'am. Immunity is the natural ability of an organism to protect themselves against harmful microorganism.
Yes, you can say protect also, you can say destroy, or you can say inbuilt resistance. These all terms you should know, appropriate term. That answer is correct, but I want more appropriate answer.
Ma'am,
Okay?
may I?
Now next is, what is vaccine? Yes, who is there?
Ma'am, yes, me.
I'm going just Alok Kumar 8G.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what is vaccine? Nowadays, we are very much talking about vaccination. What is this vaccine?
Ma'am, I have not
You are
remembered.
taking, we are all of the persons are having this vaccination, but what is that? Ayush Raj, do you know? Arushi? Darshil Raj? If you are
Yes,
coming
ma'am.
silently in the class and
Yes, ma'am.
sitting idle, then that will not be benefited, children. You will not get
Yes.
benefit.
Of
You
killed
have
or
to learn
weakened
it.
microorganisms administered to increase protection against a disease, that is to bolster immunity.
Okay, it is a weak form of the suspension of killed microorganism. Like we are talking about vaccination of which disease just now? We are talking about
COVID-19.
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 So vaccination will be also developed from that germ only, and we will get vaccinated so that inner protection is built by that. We get acquainted with that weak form, and then we can fight with that disease. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what are biological nitrogen fixers? It's Shana. Janvi Sharma.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what are biological nitrogen fixtures?
Ma'am, some bacteria and blue-green algae are able to fix atmospheric nitrogen into useful forms of salts of nitrogen, and they are called biological nitrogen fixers.
Can you tell me one biological name of one biological fixer? Nitrogen fixers, biological nitrogen fixer. One name you have to give.
Rhizobium.
Oh, rhizobium, yes, correct. Then give me the name of one, you can say, alga that is present in the rice field for fixing nitrogen.
Cyanobacteria.
Yes. So don't get confused, children. And where it is found? Where it is found?
In the roots of
plants.
In the roots of cycas plant.
In the roots of cycas plant. And they are helpful in fixing atmospheric nitrogen in rice field.
Soluble salts of
into useful substance.
And it is an algae, it is not a bacteria. So don't get confused that cyanobacteria is the name. So it will be bacteria. It is also known as blue-green algae. Then next question is, name one microorganism. No, you just tell me how can or which gas is produced in fermentation of sugar? Which is the gas produced by fermentation of sugar?
methane.
Methane.
Methane and ethanol.
Methane.
Methane and ethanol, both.
All.
Methane and
Ethanol is produced by the fermentation of sugar.
Sugar produces ethanol by fermentation,
Ethanol.
but methane is produced in
Biogas reactors.
biogas reactors.
Biogas reactor.
Two gases
Biogas
are there. Don't
reactors.
get confused in both of them. One is by this type of question will come and you will get confused, children. So, but be very attentive while you all are going through the chapter. First is when it is fermentation of sugar is going on, then you will have which gas? That is ethanol. And when it is the gas produced in biogas reactor is methane. Note it down. Don't get confused. Then after that, how is microorganism or how are microorganisms helpful in cleaning the environment? Who will describe? Elaborate this sentence.
Ma'am, may I, Ananya?
Ma'am, may I?
Ma'am, may I, Ananya?
Ma'am, will you please repeat the question?
Tushar, I am just getting a new name over here. Tushar, 8H, can you try? Why are the other section students keeping quiet? I want the interaction from all the class. All of you have studied this chapter, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Children 8H.
Ma'am, will you please repeat the question?
Question is, how can we help the microorganism or how can the microorganism help in cleaning the environment? Keshav Krishnan?
Ma'am, may
Okay, who is interested in answering then?
Ma'am,
Can I, Navya?
Ma'am, Ananya.
I'm Navya.
Okay,
Ananya.
Can I? Shalini?
Yes, ma'am. When a plant or animal dies, it leaves behind energy and nutrition in the organic matter that formed its structure. Decomposer eventually convert all those organic matter into carbon dioxide and nutrients. These nutrients like nitrogen, potassium, etc. become a part of the soil. This eventually replenish the soil and clean the environment. Example for the decomposers are some bacteria and fungus.
Okay, very good, Ananya. Shalin, can you try? Shalin?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you try this answer? How are these microorganisms useful in cleaning the environment?
Microorganisms are helpful and for cleaning the environment because they help in decomposition process and help
And what
in
happens
maintaining
after getting decomposed?
the energy
What
released in the
happens after
environment.
getting decomposed?
The energy and the minerals gets back to the nature.
Yes. So children, if you are knowing, then you can elaborate your answer according to the marks over there. According to the marks which is allotted for that question. Okay. Then next is, till here children, we have studied what? That how the microorganisms are our friends. So till here, the type of question which can come in your exam, you have understood or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
As
Yes,
children,
ma'am.
these are easy
Yes, ma'am.
chapters. So I want all of you to learn all the facts which are given over here. As most of you have answered the question, others, those who are lacking behind, they should also learn these questions. Clear? Then we will talk about the other part of this chapter, that is how microorganisms behave as a foes. So foes, you all are all knowing what are foes?
Enemy.
Yes, enemy.
Enemy, or how can it be an enemy? It will, because it is causing various
Diseases.
types of
Disease.
Diseases in our
is
body.
considered as enemy. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now the term comes for that. Pathogens. I want other children also. Kavish. Kavish, are you there?
May I?
Yes, ma'am.
Kavish,
Ma'am, may I?
you just
Yes, ma'am.
answer this. What are pathogens?
Disease-causing organisms are called pathogens.
Okay. Next. Mohit. Mohit Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
What are toxins?
The release some harmful material are called toxins in our body.
Okay, ठीक है. Now, what are communicable disease? Mahi Kashyap.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what are communicable diseases?
A disease which spreads from an infected person to a healthy person is known as communicable disease.
Okay, can you give one example of communicable disease?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, mosquitoes.
The example of disease, not organism. Disease. Mosquito is not a disease.
Tuberculosis.
Ma'am, disease.
I'm common cold.
Ma'am, can I?
Common cold, pneumonia, cough.
Pneumonia and tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis.
Yes. So learn, you have to go through the disease name also.
Corona.
Yes, corona. Very good.
That comes in
Who is
pneumonia.
telling this? Pneumonia also. These all are symptoms of corona. Now name one causal organism which causes malaria. Nisha.
By female Anopheles mosquito.
Female Anopheles
Female
mosquito.
Anopheles.
Female Anopheles mosquito
Female
leads
Anopheles
to the
mosquito.
disease malaria.
Now Priyanshu Kumar Yadav, 8H. Tell me, how is dengue caused by? Which organism? Which causal organism?
Dengue caused by Anopheles mosquito. Anopheles female
No,
mosquito.
not dengue is not caused by Anopheles
Ma'am,
mosquito.
can I?
Aedes
Aedes mosquito.
It
Aedes.
is mosquito.
Aedes
Dengue
mosquito.
is caused by
Aedes mosquito.
Aedes mosquito.
And what about plague? What
Rat
about
flea.
Rat flea
plague?
is caused by
Rat
rat.
flea.
It's caused by
Rat flea.
rat
It is caused by rat flea.
Rat flea. It is caused by rat flea.
rat flea.
Okay. Now, after that, now can we consider COVID as an infectious disease or not?
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Disease because
Can
it
be
can be
spread
Yes,
by
ma'am.
physical contact.
yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, because it is caused by microorganisms.
Yes.
It
Then
can spread from one person to another.
it gets transferred from one person to another.
Affected person to a healthy
Another.
person.
It can transfer.
Now, what are the modes of transmission of pathogen? Like
Air,
which
water,
disease
Air,
can be
water,
spread
soil.
by
Air,
soil
water,
and
soil, and
animals?
animals.
Air, water,
soil,
soil, and
air, water,
animals.
soil.
Air, water,
Air,
soil, and animals.
You tell
Air,
me
water,
what
soil,
is
and animals.
caused by the coming in contact, which disease is caused by soil?
Rat.
Tetanus.
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 By animal bite? By
Rabies,
animal bite?
rabies and
Which
malaria.
malaria,
And
dengue.
malaria.
Rabies and malaria.
Rabies, malaria.
Rabies and malaria.
Then we will come to the prevention of diseases. How can we prevent polio, mumps, and tetanus?
By
Vaccination.
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 And
How can
vaccination.
we prevent
Vaccination,
diseases like ringworm and athlete's foot?
By
Maintaining good personal hygiene.
Maintaining good personal hygiene.
Maintaining
maintaining
hygiene.
personal
Maintaining
hygiene.
personal hygiene.
Prevent cholera? How can we
By
prevent
proper
cholera?
Proper disposal of water and using
disinfected water.
disposal of water and using disinfected water.
Okay. How can we prevent malaria and dengue?
By using
By
mosquito.
Using mosquito nets and mosquito repellents, controlling mosquito population.
Nets, mosquito repellents, controlling mosquito population.
Okay. Now, in between the class, when the class is going on, proceeding, why are you all leaving the class? You don't want to listen also. Mahi has left. This is very bad. I will just take a record. Those who class is going on first. Now next, and you will comment that the classes are not going on properly. You have to revise only. So we are having this revision class. Next is for the animals, diseases which are there in animals. And these diseases are your foot and mouth disease. Which organism or which animal
Virus.
get affected
Virus
by
and cattle.
Virus and cattle is the animal that gets affected by foot and mouth disease.
Very good.
Cattle is the animal which gets affected.
Cattle is the animal that
Bacteria.
gets affected by this.
Bacteria.
Bacteria is the microorganism that
is caused in
anthrax.
Bacteria is the microorganism that cause the disease.
Cattle.
Cattle.
So here, children, what do you understand? What are cattle? Cattle
Yes,
are
ma'am.
Cows.
Milk giving animals are known as cattle.
Milk
animals.
Living animals.
Animals which can be there.
Animals are known as cattle. Now, aspergillosis, which animal?
Poultry. Poultry animal.
Poultry.
Poultry birds.
Poultry. Poultry.
Egg-giving animals.
Known as
Animals are known as poultry.
They are known as poultry. Canine
Like hen.
distemper.
These are caused by
Virus
Dogs.
and
dogs.
the
Caused
reason
by
why
virus
is
and
dog.
the
Dogs are
animals
animals which get
infected is
infected,
dog.
and virus is the microorganism that cause the disease, canine distemper.
Okay.
Caused by virus and infected animal is dog.
Dogs.
Dogs. Then we will come to microorganism causing disease in plants. Now, tobacco mosaic virus is a disease caused by
Virus.
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 Yes.
Caused by
Iris.
Virus.
Virus.
where does it affect? Which
Uh,
part of the plant does it
The
affect?
Leaves.
Leaves.
It's the leaves of the plant. Appearance of uneven
leads to
spots
the
and discoloration.
discoloration and uneven
leaves.
Appearance
on
of
the leaves.
uneven spots and discoloration on the leaves.
Yes, that is also important. You have to learn that also. Then comes citrus cancer.
Bacteria.
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 It
By
is
bacteria.
the which
Bacteria.
Leaves, stems, fruit.
Leaves, stems, and fruit.
Affected parts are
Leaves,
leaves,
stems, and
stems,
fruit
and
will
fruits.
taste brown water soap
Leaves, stems, and
margins.
Leaves, stems, and fruits are the parts which get affected
stem
by
and
bacteria.
fruits are the infected parts.
It is a
By the disease
bacterial
citrus canker.
disease and leaves, stem and fruits are affected in it. Because this type of question is also asked in 5 marks. You will get several blanks in that and you will have to fill up in this with the name of diseases, the part affected, either it is in plant, animal. I am repeatedly telling you that go through the all the diseases chart so that you can just touch that question. Rust of wheat is which type of disease? Fungal, bacterial,
Fungus.
Fungal disease.
It is caused by.
Disease.
It is a fungal disease.
Plants show rust colored orange.
And
Colored orange
where does
patches.
which part is getting affected here?
Stems.
Infected plant parts.
Stem part you can say.
Area.
Stem part.
Smut of
Even the
rice.
stem part of the plant.
Fungus.
Smut of
Stem
rice.
part of the plant gets
Fungus.
affected.
Fungus.
Is a
Fungus.
fungal
Caused by
disease
fungus.
caused by
Rust
fungus.
of wheat is a
Now,
fungal.
in the smut of rice, the ball, that means the grains get affected. So, if the grains will be affected, then we will not get a proper yield. So, it is a very, very, you can say, dreadful in that case that this disease destroys the main grain from the plant. Red rot of sugar cane. Which type of disease is it?
It is a fungal
Fungus.
disease and the stems of the plant get affected by this red rot of
stems have a
sugarcane.
dull red color interrupted by occasional.
Okay. Now, children, with the rest of the part, we will discuss in the next class, that is food poisoning and food preservation, that you will go through. And then the next chapter also we can touch tomorrow, that is your metals and non-metals.
Metals and non-metals.
Just now, don't ask about the syllabus. Is it coming? It is not coming. We will discuss about the syllabus in later classes. When I will get the proper information, I'll tell you. Just now we are studying for our knowledge, so we will revise all the chapters. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't ask, ma'am, this is coming or this is not coming. Don't become exam oriented. अभी हम लोग revision कर रहे हैं, हम लोग पूरे chapters का revision कर लेते हैं. Clear?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any problem in this chapter till now? What we have discussed? Because
No,
this
ma'am.
is all that we have.
No, ma'am, no doubt.
Learning chapter is this. So you have to just learn it. Tomorrow we will go through the rest part. Okay? Pardon? Are you asking anything?